For decades, the story of India's top talent was all about one thing: leaving. The best and brightest heading out for opportunities abroad. But that story, it's changing, and it's changing fast. Today, we're going to dig into something called the Great Reversal and figure out what it means for one of the world's fastest growing economies. But before we get into that, let's start with a number that'll really make you stop and think. Since 2014, more than 23,000 millionaires have given up their Indian citizenship. Now, this isn't just about money. It's a really powerful symbol of a long-standing trend that we've all come to know as brain drain.
So what exactly are we talking about when we say brain drain? Well, the classic definition is pretty simple. It's the huge-scale migration of highly skilled people. And for a very long time, this was just India's reality, a massive outflow of its human capital, mostly to the West, all in search of better prospects.
And the sheer scale of this exodus, it is just staggering. We're talking about almost 10 million people in just 20 years. And the impact on global tech and science is undeniable, right? Indians are a huge part of the backbone of some of the world's most innovative companies. It's a real testament to the talent, for sure, but it's also a huge, huge loss for the home country. Yeah, this whole thing got so big, it even earned a name: the Great Indian Exodus. But, just when it seemed like that was the end of the story, something started to shift. And this right here, this is the pivot point. As the industrialist Anand Mahendra puts it, the tide is turning. That decades-old story of brain drain is being completely rewritten into a story of a significant brain gain. So, what's going on? What's causing this massive tide to turn homeward? Why are these incredibly skilled professionals who once only looked outward now looking back? Well, it's something called brain gain, and it's pretty much the mirror image of brain drain. It's not just about stopping people from leaving anymore. It's about a reverse migration. It's about the return of that exact same talent, only now they're armed with global experience, new skills, and capital. So what's driving this big return? It really comes down to a powerful mix of push and pull factors. On one hand, India is pulling talent back with a tech scene that's absolutely booming and some really supportive government policies. But at the same time, some Western countries are kind of pushing that same talent out with stricter visa rules. Then you add in that powerful personal pull of family and culture, and boom, you've got the perfect storm for a homecoming. And this just lays it out so clearly, right? The contrast between the past and the present is, well, it's night and day. The very reasons people used to leave, not enough opportunity, low pay, poor infrastructure, those are the exact things being tackled by the new reality in India. What used to be a one-way street is now a dynamic, two-way highway. All this change is transforming India into something totally new, a global hub for talent and innovation. It's not just a source of talent anymore, it's becoming a destination. And if you want proof, look no further than this. Over 1,800 global capability centers, these are the big R&D and innovation hubs for the world's biggest corporations, are now running in India. And let me be clear, these aren't just call centers. These are high-value think tanks creating cutting-edge tech and demanding the best of the best talent. But here's the thing. Even for the folks who don't pack up and move back for good, that connection to home is still incredibly powerful. The Indian diaspora has turned into this massive economic engine, fueling the country's growth even from thousands of miles away. I mean, just take a look at these numbers. They're mind-blowing. The diaspora's annual income is equivalent to a massive 13% of India's entire GDP. And the money they send home in remittances, that alone makes up about 3% of the entire national economy. This is what experts call brain circulation, a two-way flow of money, skills, and influence. Okay, so it all sounds like a perfect success story, right? Well, not so fast. The reality is actually way more complicated. This brain gain hasn't just replaced the brain drain. They're happening at the same time. And this is where we get to the core paradox of the whole situation. A big study of Indian scientists found that of those who go abroad, a whopping 73% end up settling there for good. Only about a quarter actually come back. So here's the crucial point. While the brain gain is absolutely real, the brain drain is still the bigger force at play. So that leads to the big question, right? If things are getting so much better in India, what's stopping more people from coming home? What are the challenges holding back a true, complete reversal? Well, when you actually ask Indians living abroad, a pretty clear picture emerges. Money is still the number one thing.
Salaries in India are getting better, but they often just can't match the top offers globally. Beyond that, people worry about infrastructure, the frustrations of bureaucracy, and they have questions about the work culture. These are some serious hurdles. And it's not just about attracting people back. There's a huge challenge on the home front, too. If you want to absorb all this returning talent and build a real knowledge economy, you need a broadly skilled workforce at home. But right now, less than 5% of India's workforce has any formal skill training. That skills gap is a major bottleneck that has to be fixed from the inside.
Okay, so after all that, where do things stand? What does the future really hold for India's most valuable resource, its people?
Let's go back to that quote from Anand Mahindra, because he just nails the potential here. The goal isn't just to reverse brain drain. It's to fundamentally change India's role in the world, to go from being the world's back office to becoming its premier think tank. And you know what? India has this incredible ace up its sleeve. It's people. With more than 62% of its population in the working age group, the country has one of the youngest populations on Earth. This demographic dividend is a massive, massive reservoir of potential talent just waiting to be unlocked.
So the road ahead is pretty clear, but let's be honest, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take systemic change, huge investments in education and R&D, creating jobs that are truly competitive, slashing the red tape for entrepreneurs, and building up infrastructure outside of just the big cities.
And all of this really boils down to one final huge question. For decades, India's greatest export has been its people. The ultimate challenge and the greatest opportunity is to finally turn that export into its greatest asset right at home. The great reversal has definitely started, but whether it truly succeeds, well, that's the story that will define India for the rest of this century.